Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, two things. I'm just going to give you a little run around the workshop and show you what we've had going on for the last week or two. I haven't posted a video for a day or two, but that's mainly because I've been so busy. I haven't really had time to record anything. But yeah, so the first thing really, just have a little look around as to see what we've had going on the last week or two. We've got a load of stuff here waiting to go out and stuff that's come in. It's not very organised, not as organised as we usually are, to be honest, but it has been a bit chaotic in here. So we've got a little Corsa cylinder head there that we've done. We've got a straight six BMW. I had to check there. Straight 6 BMW we've rebored and refaced there for a good customer of ours. We've got a VR6 Golf here. These are a nightmare. So we've got Wozner pistons, but what they normally do, the customer, they normally like taking the 2.8 down to the 2.9, which means using a Wozner or equivalent piston and taking about 2mm out of the bore. Each bore, obviously, as you can see, it's a narrow V. I forget what these are, about 15-20 degrees, something like that. But obviously, because it's like that, you see it goes down at an angle. You can't set them up on the boring bar, so you have to hone 2mm out of each bore, which, yeah, is very boring, if excuse the pun. But yes, we've done that. What else we've got here? We've got a Triumph TR4 head that's come in. We've got to go through, pressure tested that. He's all right. So we've got to put 2 valve seats in there. I think we've got to do an unleaded conversion on that. We've got these engines under the covers are waiting to be collected. We've got a couple of Cosworths here, a V8. We're a V8 engine out of a TVR. We've got a couple of boxes here. That'll be a Cosworth cylinder head and a crankshaft for us to check. Go through the head. That's come from Upcountry, a good customer of ours. So down here we've got the Alfa Romeo that I showed you in a sort of look around the workshop video. That's still on the go. Still waiting for a gasket set for that. Can't really go any further than that. Here, I'm not sure whether we showed you this. This is the Lagonda engine. That's a very long-winded project. Mayor's told you this is everything on this is aftermarket or bespoke. I imagine in its day or whenever it was done, they've had crankshaft, conrods made, all that. It's a real trick bit of kit, but just makes our life very difficult because obviously nothing is standard. Even the standard stuff's fairly hard to get hold of, but yeah, so as I say, we've got to the point where it's pretty much assembled. All we're waiting for now is a sort of chain supplier we've sent the chain off because it's a real weird chain, and they're having a look at that, and they're going to have to make us another chain from scratch to go around the labyrinth of pulleys. So yeah, we've got that one. We've got the Jaguar, which, as you've seen, part 1 and part 2 of. That's hidden under the cover there, ready to record part 3 of once we get a couple of bits delivered. Parts at the minute are an absolute nightmare for us. Especially the stuff from Europe, Germany or France, is just taking forever. And that's what we're waiting for on the Alfa, just a gasket set, and it's been here about 3.5 weeks. So not a lot we can do about that. But yeah, as I say, as soon as we get to the point where we get a couple of bits for this, we'll get the rest of it cleaned up, and I'll get that part 3 video on the way. Here we've got a Mini Cooper engine. The usual on these, they burn oil for a pastime. All control ring goes soft, and So we're going to take that to bits. We're not actually going to put that one together. We're going to let the customer do that, but we're going to supply all the bits. We're going to give it a good deglaze of the bores. We're going to face the block because they can warp very slightly. We've got to go through the cylinder head. He's actually got a burnt out valve. That's one of the sort of symptoms. They burn oil to such an extent that they actually burn valves out eventually. So that's what we're going to do on him. And here we've got an M9R Renault engine. Nothing too exciting. Just a 1900 diesel, but as you can see, we're sort of running out of space here. This one's only come into us because I think we did the cylinder head a couple of months ago. It blew a gasket again. So it's basically just needs the block refaced, which we've done. We've still got to rebore it, but it's they have to come completely to bits just to reface the block. People think because they're a cast iron block, they don't tend to warp and it all happens on the head, but they don't. These days with the steel or the multi-layer steel gaskets, if you get blow by on the head, almost certainly over time the blocks are going to go. They're going to sort of go down in these areas here. One way of checking that is getting a straight edge torch underneath, and if you can sort of see light coming through here or any other part of it, then no good. Got to completely come to bits and face the block really. But we won't get involved with building it unless we do it completely properly, so it's a recon engine. We don't do half a job nowadays. It doesn't pay. So yeah, I've got bits there. As I say, we're running out of space, and that much that I'm using the press bed here as a bit of a workbench. But that's the cylinder head off the Renault. The parts I've painted up, cleaned up. So yeah, that's what we've got going on in the sort of engine side of it. We've got that Willys Jeep engine there, which I showed you before, I'm sure. He's all ready to go out. We're actually just going to fill that up with oil, get the oil pressure up on that. We've got the Riley engine here, which we haven't actually painted it because I think the customer wants to paint that, but we're pretty much there with this. Just got to do some more busy assembling. Got the pistons and rods there, cylinder head there. So we're cracking on with that. I think we're just waiting for a few bits on that again. We've got that's the mini cylinder head that we've stripped. I'll show you. Have a look for the exhaust file's gone, but as you can see, all the rest of them are fine. All the seats don't look too bad. Sometimes when they burn an exhaust valve out, they can sort of burn a bit on the seat, but obviously the seats have all got to be cut anyway. Just going to wait for gaskets on that, make sure we get the stem seals. Got the cylinder head off the Alfa Romeo, the one over there, which is waiting for gaskets. Here we've got an Escort Cosworth block. This is the 200 block out the Escorts. This is the one that I've put top hat ductile iron liners in there. If you can just about see where the outside of the liner is. So these are a flanged top hat liner. So probably sort of 2.5 millimeters of the flange there. It just sort of locates into the block where I've machined it, and it stops the liner from shifting. So yeah, done that. As I say, with being ductile iron, the liners are very tough. Just makes for a stronger block really. So that one's sitting there. Show you the back of the block with the liners. Just see where the liners are in there. So that's there ready to be dummy built up once I've finished balancing the crank assembly. Just waiting for the clutch on that and the bolts, so I can get that crank assembly finished, put in here and check the piston heights, because obviously we've took some off the head, refaced the block, so I normally run about 12 thou piston protrusion on these with a Wasner piston, so I may have to take a little bit off the piston crown. We've got the cylinder head here, which is, see, it's been nicely ported in the past. I've gone through this, done the valves and seats. You can see it's been off before, it's had a little bit of weld in here, but it's quite a nice job that. So yeah, there's your pistons and rods, so that's all that done. So yeah, I've got quite a lot going on. So that's the first bit of this video, but the second bit is I want to show you this, because you may not have seen this before. This is a Golf 2 litre diesel head. I just want to show you the back of that. It is absolutely horrible. Don't worry about all the rockers all over the place, we've just sort of shifted those out of the way a minute, but that's what happens when you don't service a vehicle properly. I do think this has got a bit warm in its life, but that is what we normally see from vehicles that have not had regular oil changes, just neglected really. I mean, these modern engines, they seem to run fine until they don't, and then when you take them to bits, this is what you can find. But I mean, bear in mind, this is going to have to be soda blasted, but this has been pressure washed. This was absolutely caked to the hilts.